How do I find the right person when I'm dating? How do I find the person who's right for me when I'm dating? I got that question like 3 times in a row, and I thought, what about that question? What's wrong with that question? Something wrong with that question. How about...
How do I find the right person? This is a question that plagues so many of us, especially in this day and age. Jordan Peterson offers what I consider to be the most useful advice anyone can ever give you on this question. Let's listen.
How do I conduct myself so that I am the best possible partner? Now that's a whole different, right? That's a whole different conceptual universe, and virtually no one ever asked that question. And I would say, well, if you want an answer to the first question, which is how do I find the person who's right for me, you actually start by asking the second question, which is what can I bring to the table for someone else? And if you're really good at bringing something to the table for someone else, hey man, people might be lining up to be your partner. And if they're not, then you might think, well, maybe I'm just not bringing the right thing to the table. And that's worth thinking, especially if you're desperate, you're lost, and you're alone.
How do I conduct myself so that I am the best possible version of myself? In this day and age where we are constantly seeking validation, where depression is on the rise, where there's so many dating apps that makes dating to feel so superficial, it's very difficult for us to not feel some resentment towards people who we're dating, because there is that pressure, that constant pressure to have this ideal person. And when we don't get that ideal, we start to blame the external world. We start to externalize that and feel as though other people owe us, or other people are not living up to par with what should be ours, and the more we do this, the more resentful we get. The solution to this is exactly what Jordan Peterson said. We need to look within. We need to ask ourselves, why are all of these people not attracted to me? If those are the people that I want to attract, first of all, are those actually the people that I want to attract? If the answer to that is yes, then the next statement should not be I deserve to attract them or I am entitled to them somehow, but rather, how do I go about improving myself in a way that makes me more attractive to them? And this is going to not only make you attractive to them, but to so many other people, because people are all looking for the same thing in general.
That's a solid perspective. Peterson's approach really brings the focus back to personal growth and self-improvement. In a world where external validation is so prevalent, it's easy to get caught up in blaming others or feeling entitled. But shifting the focus inward can be a game changer. When we ask, how do I become the best version of myself? It's about cultivating qualities like kindness, reliability, and emotional intelligence. This isn't just about dating, but about becoming a well-rounded person. By improving ourselves, we naturally become more attractive, not just to potential partners, but to everyone around us. It's like a ripple effect. Think about it. If you're constantly improving and working on yourself, you're not only setting a higher standard for the kind of partner you want, but also attracting those who value the same traits. This mindset helps us move away from resentment and towards empowerment, putting us in the driver's seat of our own lives. Plus, it makes the whole dating experience less about desperation and more about mutual growth and connection. And hey, if it doesn't work out with one person, you're still on a path of self-improvement, which is a win in itself.
Another difficulty with this is that a lot of us might feel like the things that could make us attractive are beyond our control. Things like height, or having a certain hip to waist ratio for women, or having enough money, or being funny, having enough friends. All of these things can make us feel insecure if we don't have them, and there's a tendency to think that we are not naturally inclined towards these things. Obviously, some of them are more immutable than others, like height. But what we need to remember is that there are more of these things that are within our control than those that aren't. A lot of these things simply require us to be more proactive in our approach towards dating and to presenting ourselves. We need to put in that extra work. It's easy for us to sit back and think that we are good enough just the way we are, and that other people should be attracted to us just as we are. While that is true to some extent, while everybody is deserving of love and respect just as they are, we cannot expect other people to be able to put up with us in terms of dating in the same way that we expect our family or close friends to put up with us. And this is something that we need to internalize if we want to attract the right people. We need to understand that self-improvement and growth is something that is a requirement for attracting the right people. There's nothing wrong with who we are, but there is something wrong to have a standard in the people that we want to attract that does not align with who we are at the moment. If we are able to bring ourselves out of that comfort zone and put ourselves in that position where we are constant, lifelong learners, we start to have the options. We stop putting ourselves in that desperate position of taking whoever comes our way, and we start having more of a say in who we are with and how we spend our time and energy. And this is not only good for our mental health, but this is also good for the people that we do interact with.
Exact. When we push ourselves out of our comfort zones and commit to being lifelong learners, we naturally become more magnetic. It's like we're not just waiting for life to happen to us, we're actively shaping our lives and the relationships we want. This proactive approach not only gives us more options in dating, but also in friendships, career opportunities, and overall life satisfaction. We become less desperate and more discerning, choosing who we want to spend our time and energy with. This shift is empowering and positively impacts our mental health, reducing feelings of inadequacy and resentment. Moreover, this mindset benefits everyone we interact with. We bring more to the table, offer more value in our relationships, and inspire others to do the same. It's a win-win, creating a ripple effect of growth and positivity in our social circles. In the end, it's about taking control of our lives and constantly striving to be the best versions of ourselves. This journey of self-improvement is not just about attracting others, but about living a more fulfilling and meaningful life.